Welcome back, everybody. Yes, it is this autumn statement special. Later on, though, we are going to be talking about the fact that asylum seekers are, in some people's words, going to be dumped, thousands of them in rural areas. Lots to talk about there. But let's just return to the big one of the day, because the Chancellor's autumn statement will have consequences for the pound in everyone's pocket. 55% of people, apparently, are going to be worse off. Are you feeling poorer already? Do you think it's fair? Amongst other measures, it was confirmed that the state pension would rise in line with inflation. Local authorities will now be able to raise council tax by 5% without holding referendums, and there would be a reduction in the threshold at which the top rate of tax is paid. Benefits, of course, are also going up. So the winners, it could be argued, are people on benefits and the elderly. What do you make of that? But it's opened up an interesting debate for us, and one that's been raging, and one that I know our viewers and our listeners care about a lot, which is that actually, who's getting clobbered, and is it right? Is it the younger people, or is it the older people? Do the younger generation owe the older people a debt of gratitude? Should we look after people in their dotage? Or actually, you know, are the older generation sitting on a little bit of wealth and maybe they should divvy it back out? I know there's strong views on either side of this. Don't shoot the messenger. Joining me now is Conservative counsellor and political commentator with Young Voices UK. It's Noah Khogali. Noah, thank you very, very much. Great to have you on the show. Are young people just being a bit selfish here, going, oh, these pensioners, they're getting a triple lock and they're getting all the money? You know, go out, stop spending money on porn star martinis and a brand new iPhone and go and earn a bit of cash. What do you think?
Well, there's always the old adage about people telling young people to just, you know, cancel their Netflix account. But realistically, as a country, we are going through, and as a world, to be fair, we're going through this pretty horrific experience. And as has happened over and over again throughout history, when it comes time to help somebody, governments immediately go to the people who aren't earning an income, because that's the easiest way to put cash in people's pockets. But it's quite hard to do that for young people if you aren't going to start some kind of cost of living furlough scheme, which would essentially evolve into a warped version of UBI. So the government have essentially taken the easiest way to put cash into people's pockets, which is protecting the triple lock and giving that money to pensioners. Young people are going to feel like they've been passed over, but I would say a bit of nuance here, that there is lots of long-term investment into things that 20 or 30 years down the time will make my generation's lives, hopefully, a lot more productive and make us wealthier in the long term.
No, OK, a lot of younger people think, well, the elderly are sitting on their properties, and for younger people struggling to get on the property ladder, that might mean that they think the elderly are rich. But there's a lot of elderly poverty. There's a lot of elderly people who've worked all their lives, paid into the tax system all of their lives. Yes, maybe they own their own home, but the reason, frankly, they're clinging on to that is because they probably want to pass that money down a generation, and that's their right to do that, isn't it? They shouldn't be stuffed with higher taxes or cuts, etc.
Absolutely. I think it was something that would have been quite nice to see, and might be nice to see moving forward when we're beyond the current situation and this current political climate, is a change to the way that inheritance tax works. And if we're going to be making sure that our older generations are really comfortable now, and we've got that intergenerational dynamic, which is really important not only in our political environment, but also our communities, that we enable them to give as much as they can down to their children and their grandchildren, and make sure that there's that flow of equity between generations. Because I think fundamentally what we should all be looking to do is making sure that, you know, lives are better for those that we leave behind when we pass away. So
I get
if our
that.
young people are going to be supporting our older ones, we need to make sure that they can do the same back.
Well, I get that, and I just want to kind of put the other side of this across, because there are a lot of young people who work incredibly, incredibly hard and are trying to get on, right? And they're trying to get into the property ladder, struggling even, frankly, to pay rent these days, especially down south, especially in London. Not to be too London-centric about this, but, I mean, it is mad, right, the rent in London and property prices in general. And you need to dangle a carrot. You need to dangle a carrot for young people. And the idea now that maybe they've just got themselves onto a decent wage, 50, 60 grand, nice, not to be sniffed at, but now they're going to get clobbered a bit in the tax. They still can't afford to buy a house. They still maybe can't afford rent. Where's the incentive to get out of bed in the morning for young people?
I do absolutely see that argument, which is double down on the fact that we've seen that change in the top tax rate as well, which means that lots of those young people have worked incredibly hard to, you know, really rapidly rise up that ladder of wages, are now going, well, I've got less motivation to get up in the morning. But again, I'd say I really hope these are short-term measures, and
right.
that in the long term, there's these really bright signs of investment in education and in infrastructure.
All right.
Something like HS2 in the next 20 years could really be beneficial for young people.
Well, it could. I've got a deep concern that it's going to have the opposite effect that it was imagined to have, and it was going to go the other way and jettison more people down south 14 minutes quicker. But no, thank you very much. Noah Khogali, that Conservative councillor, political commentator with Young Voices UK.